Hey everyone, it's Dave here, and I just wanted to share with you a new feature of Keynote for iPad, and it's called the Create Motion Path, and it can be used to animate objects in your presentations, or if you're doing it for video and animating in film or stories, for example, this is another great way of using this feature. In this scene, it's going to be a space theme, and I've got a video background, and I've got a rocket that I want to travel through space. So let's just hit play so you can sort of see what the scene looks like before we do any of the animation. So you can see when you hit play, the background moves. So what we want to do now is animate the rocket. So by clicking on the rocket and then pressing animate, you now get three choices. You've got your start and end points when a build in or build out, and then you've got another option called add action, which means it's always present on screen and you're just animating it and so on. So let's have a look at the add action option, and here you can see it's create path. Okay, so once you create a path, you get a pink dot on your object, and as you move the object through your scene, you can see the line grows and shows the path that your object's going to go on. So I'm just clicking and holding on the object and moving it through the scene, and I just want it to disappear off screen as though it's traveling through space. So there you can see that kind of effect. I'm going to clear it and then show you what the straight line or the angled line does. So that was the curved. Now let's have a look at the straight line. So you can see really straight lines. When you stop on a point, you can then click and drag, and your object can have a sort of like a zigzag type effect. So let's preview that. So depending on what type of animation you want, choose the line that works best for you. I think for this particular scene, the curved line is going to work best. So I'm going to just drag and just do a very gentle curve through the scene with that rocket. And that's looking quite good. Okay, so now you've done that, you get the option of going up to the right hand corner and looking at what's called the build order. Okay, so by highlighting your object, you can see it's highlighted here blue. You've got the options down here to see what you want to do with it. So at the moment, when I press play, I have to tap the screen for that animation to be queued in. So I don't really want that. I just want it to automatically happen when I press play. I want that rocket to fly across the screen. So I'm going to press with build 1. Okay, and let's hit play and have a look at what that looks like. So it automatically happens without a tap. It flies across the screen, and that's the animation. Now the other options you get is a delay. So I want to have just a slight delay of when that rocket is introduced. So hit play again, and you can see that it took a little bit longer for it to come from the bottom left hand corner and then fly across the screen. So you've got that option of delay. I want to now have a look at, maybe I made a mistake with my motion path and I wanted to make some adjustments, or I think it could be better. So by clicking on the motion path and then clicking on the object, you now get little cue points along the line, and you can then adjust it however you like. So if you feel like I needed more of a dip here, or I wanted it to go over there, you can start adjusting these little animation points or cue points along the path, and then your spaceship will follow that. By clicking on the triangle on your animation path, you now get the option that says make smooth point. So if I click on that, I can also smooth it out a little bit and make that more of a smoother process. So that's quite cool. Or I could make it a sharp point. So if I want something to go really dip like so, that's what that option does. So I'm just going to go back to smooth, and I want to keep it quite gentle. Yeah. So as you click along each of those points as well, you can have the option to split the animation. So by clicking on one of those circles, you've got now split the path, make it a sharp point, or delete the point altogether. Okay, so I'm just going to make that a smooth point, and I'm going to drag that up a little bit. And I want my rocket to sort of pause up in that space up there. So what you can then do is click on each of these points, and I'm going to hit the split path option. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're getting two animations along the one path. When your rocket starts from the bottom left-hand corner and then gets to this top point in this curve, you can now go to action path here, and you can then have it on a tap, or you can have it with build 1. So I want it to happen automatically, and I'll do it like that. You can do what's called acceleration. Okay, so I'm just going to have a no acceleration in here, but you can change the duration. So I can say that I want that to be, let's say, 4 seconds. So for that very first part of your animation, it's going to take 4 seconds to get to the peak of that spot. Then it's going to cue the rest of your animation and so on. So, okay, so what you can now do is click on that option again, and click on this one, and what I can see now, so once your rocket gets to the top of that curve there, you can choose how quick you want that to be. So I want it to zoom off really quick after that. Actually, I'll keep that at 2 seconds to that point, and what I'm going to do is add another cue point. So I'm going to click on the object, click the action, and just at this point here, I'm going to split the path again, and now I've got 3 motions. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want my rocket to speed off really fast at that last part of it. So let's hit play, and it zooms off really quick there. So by hitting play now, let's have a look at what that animation looks like. So it goes up nice and slow, 2 second pause, and then speeds off. Okay, so I just wanted to have a look at this as well. So let's go back and have a look at the build order now. So I'll just quickly play what the animation looks like. So let's hit play, and it automatically starts. Now I've got the rocket pausing up here. At the moment I have to press the tap button on screen to cue the next part of the animation. So now I'll press tap, it cues it, and then it speeds off into the distance. So to make that all happen in one go, you go back to the build order and you click on each of these, and you can see it says on tap. So you might say after build 2, and with that one after build 3. So let's hit play now and see what happens. I shouldn't have to touch anything, and that animation just should do itself, and so on. Okay, so that's how you create a motion path for objects in Keynote on iPad.